Hello, it's okay. Chapter 57 Lake Como, Italy, Sunday, July 12:40 p.m. The sound of the motors changed from a whine to a low drone. A nursing sister, Elena Vosso, could feel the hydrofoil slow as the boat's hull settled into the water. Ahead, a great stone villa sat on the lake's edge, and they were moving toward it. In the twilight, she could see a man on the dock looking toward them, a large rope in his hand. Marco stepped down from the pilot house and went out into the decks as they neared. Behind her, Luca and Pietro stood up to unhook the safety straps that had held the gurney secure on the trip from shore. The hydrofoil was large, able to see the guests, maybe as many as 60 passengers, and was used for public transportation between the towns, sitting on the edge of the 30-mile-long lake. But this trip they were the only travelers. She, Marco, Luca, and Pietro, and Mikhail Rogue. They had left the house in Cortana just after just after noon the day before, going quickly, leaving almost everything but Mikhail Rogue's medical supplies behind. A telephone call had come for Luca, Luca, and Elena answered. Luca was sleeping, she said, but the voice told her to wake him, to tell him that it was urgent, and Luca had taken the call on the upstairs extension. Got get out now, she'd heard the voice say as she returned to the kitchen to hang up. She started to listen, but Luca knew she was there and told her to hang up, and she had. Immediately, Pietro had driven off in his car, only to return 3/4 of an hour later at the wheel of another van. Less than 50 minutes after that, they were indeed, all of them, leaving behind the vehicle they'd come in. Driving north, they'd taken the A1 Autostrada to Florence, and then gone on to Milan to a private apartment in the suburbs where they spent the night and most of the of that day that Mikhail Rourke had his first real food, rice pudding Marco had bought at a local store. He's taken it slowly between sips of water, but he managed and it had stayed down. But it hadn't been enough, and so she kept him on the on the I, on the ivy, on the fourth. The newspaper she bought with the photograph of Father Daniel Addison had been left behind in the rush of the part where the rogue had seen her hide it away behind her as he so abruptly turned toward her. She didn't know. All she did know was that the comparison had been inconclusive. He might be the American priest, he might not. Her entry of Ford had been in vain. There was an abrupt roll as the propellers reversed, then a gentle bump as the hydrofoil touched the dock. Elena saw Marco toss the mooring line to the man and shore, and turned from her nursing to see Luca and Pietro lift the gurney and carry it forward to the steps. As they did, Mikhail Rourke raised his head and looked at her, more comfort and the assurance she was coming with them, she thought, than for anything else. As far as he had come, he could talk only in hoarse, guttural sounds, and was still extremely weak. She realized she had become his emotional anchor as, as well as his caregiver. It was a tender dependency, and for all her nursing experience, it touched her in a way she'd never felt before. She wondered what it meant, whether somehow she was changing. It made her think too, and ask herself if he were the fugitive priest, priests, would it make any difference? Moments later, they had him up and out, with Marco reading them up the gangway to bring him ashore, and then Elena was ashore as well, listening as the engines of the hydrofoil left it. left left out, then running, then turning to see the boat pull away in the envelope darkness. Is running light glowing on the stern. The Italian flag above, the pilot house flagship flag flapping in the wind. Then the vessel picked up speed, and its hull rose out of the water, so that the boat stood up on stilts, like a huge, ungainly, ungainly bird, and like that it was gone. The black water closing behind, washing over its wake as if it had never been. Sister Elena Marco called, and she turned to follow them up the stone steps toward the rise of the immense villa above.